Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Masuku, and I would like to talk about something I think is affecting most of us, if not all of us, and that is grief. You know, I've noticed that we are losing a lot of loved ones, family, friends, colleagues, and even people we love and respect in society, whether it's through COVID 19 or other illnesses and fatalities. But the truth of the matter is, we are losing people at such a rapid pace, and it's actually quite scary. And I was inspired to actually start reaching out in my own circle and finding out who can talk about grief and how to navigate grief and how to cope with pain, in such a way that we are able to still be positive, in a way that we are still able to support one another, in a way that we're able to adjust to the new normal, yet still reach out to one another, yet still support in ways that we can support. So I came across Mr. Thabang Tlaka. Mr. Thabang Tlaka is a clinical psychologist by profession. He's registered with the Health Professions Council of South Africa, the HPCSA. He's worked with the South African National Defence Force, the SANDF. He's also worked with community clinics. He's worked in a hospital. He's worked in a university. He's worked with various, individuals as well as families, across provinces in South Africa. So he speaks so beautifully about how we can cope with the current state of affairs and how we can support one another. So listen carefully. Here's what Thabang has to say.
So what now? What do we do? I think one of the first things to think about is that people grieve differently, and so to allow people to grieve in their own way, we grieve differently because of our own backgrounds, our own personalities, and the resources available to us. So people grieve differently, and the best way, or one of the best ways to actually find out, is actually to talk to a person. I think that's the first, to understand that people grieve differently. Secondly is to realize that people don't want to be sad, but the sadness is part of the process. When we are going through pain, what we immediately want to do is to not feel what we're feeling, but that's how we are going to heal. When we allow ourselves to go through the difficult emotions, that's part of grieving, and along with that has to do to talk about the person who has passed away. Most of the time when somebody is grieving, we want to hush them. We want to we want them to quickly get over the topic, to not cry, to not talk about the person. But when people talk about what they are feeling, they tend to adjust better. And we know that talking helps. We know that time helps to adjust. We know that people with support, like practical ways, you support a person by helping them organize food, to organize a meeting, to help with finances, to help with, say, cleaning, to help with something specific. So to be with others when they are going through a difficult time. So to not necessarily, if somebody's grieving, don't necessarily just say, whatever you need, I will help you, but maybe offer to do something specific, and then they'll respond to that. And I think you need to then maybe consider talking to a professional when there's no movement in your grief. You almost feel stuck, when it's now interfering with how you work, and even with time, and with talking things are not improving. Then you might want to talk to a professional. When you feel that you're becoming clinically depressed, when you're becoming severely depressed, I think you might want to consider talking to somebody. And if you are very isolated, I think it might help to talk to a professional. You can talk to people like myself. Well, I'm found on www.tabantlaka.co.za. You can talk to people at SADC, the South African Depression and Anxiety Group. You can go to a local clinic or a hospital if you need to talk to a professional about what you're going through. But things are very difficult at the moment, and people don't necessarily have to go through it alone. So we remember things can hurt, but they don't have to necessarily destroy us. So if you do need help, um, um, contact the necessarily people. Contact the people that might help you rather. So yeah, it's rough, but we are going to make it through.
That was Mr. Thabang Tlaka. Guys, if you want to get a hold of Thabang, please do reach out to him on his website, which is thabangtlaka.co.za. I loved what he said about reaching out. You know, it's important that we reach out in our communities, in our social circles, through our friends. You know, obviously speak to someone that you trust. You know, it's important that the more that you talk about your current state of emotions, the better you feel, the better you start to feel. And let's be supportive to one another. Let's be kind to one another. Another thing that he mentioned was that you can reach out to SADC. That's the South Africa Depression and Anxiety Group. You know, online. You can reach out to them. They are available for a phone call. I think the number is toll free as well. So you can definitely reach out and they'll be able to respond to you, and you can have, you know, a counselor on call that you can, you know, communicate to, which is very important. It's very important that we talk. It's very important that we process pain in the best way possible. You know, right now we're on lockdown, and we have our online communities, you know, to reach out to, and family and friends to reach out to over the phone, you know. So it's the new normal. It's the new normal, unfortunately, and we will get through this, guys. We will get through this. We will get through this. Another person that I loved, you know, I connected with, and who actually went through grief, you know, and understands the different emotions that we go through when we are going through grief, you know. Her name is Ntombi Tsela. Ntombi Tsela is a nurse practitioner by profession at the Tsela Medical Center. She's a widow to the late Dr. Bomusa Tsela. She's a mother of 3 beautiful kids. She's a businesswoman. And what she started to do is that she started to actually help people deal with grief, and navigate grief and understand the different emotions that come with grief. So I'd like you to listen to her story. You know, maybe you can identify with some of the emotions that come with grief and some of the things, you know, that happen to us, you know, when we're dealing with grief. And I want people to know and understand that all of these things are normal. They are normal. And we just need to be kind to ourselves, and we need to be kind to each other. So take a listen to Ntombi.
Hi Amanda. Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Amanda, for this opportunity. Today you've asked us to talk about grief. In the world we are living under difficult times right now, and if you're not grieving a loss of a loved one, good health, or a job, you probably know someone who is grieving right now. And it is important that we do talk about grief. I'm going to be talking from personal experience. I've had so many losses. My siblings, my mom, and my husband in 2019, June the 30th. So for me, grief is a personal event. It may affect us the same way, it may not affect us the same way, and we may react and may not react the same way, and that is okay, because we are individual beings. So I experienced a lot of emotions after my husband's passing. I'll just name a few. It was shock, anger, anxiety, intense sadness, and depression. So the early days, I was really shocked, because Ube was a gentle giant. He was strong and powerful. So somehow I may have believed that he was immortal, and that's obviously not possible. And I was anxious about a lot of things. Because you marry a person and you make plans, you are happy, it's beautiful, everything is just it's just great. And one day that person is being taken away, and then the future, you are so uncertain about a lot of things. And I was so angry. At some point I was even angry at Babe. Crazy, I know, but I was. And I was angry at God. I was like, God, what is this? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? And had so many conversations with God. So many conversations. I will meditate on the word. I will spend my days, my nights praying, because what had happened, it was a great loss. Yet I knew someone greater, someone bigger, and for me, that was God. What had happened did not change who God is. It did not change that God is good. And I just continued with that. So grief is completely normal, but there may be normal and abnormal ways of processing grief. Your normal way will be the stages of grief. You may go through the stages of grief. Sometimes you may not go through all the stages of grief. Sometimes you may not go from one stage to the next in an orderly manner. Sometimes you may be stuck under one stage, and that is okay, really. But the abnormal way is what we call complicated grief. A person may experience major depression, substance abuse, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some people may not even show signs of grieving. They just want to continue as if life is normal, nothing has happened. And we know once you lost something that you dearly loved, someone that you dearly loved, the process of grief has to happen. And navigating grief is normal. And I remember someone said, when tragedy happens or when death happens, it presents you with a choice. Really. I remember I had moments where I was both a lamb and a lion. I would have days where I'd stay in bed the whole day, whole night, curtains closed. Taking a bath became a mission, and amazingly the next day, God is so amazing. I would take steps, but I knew that was God directing my steps. It felt like it was just the Holy Spirit pushing me, and really I'll always be grateful to God for that. It made me believe that whatever you believe in, or from where you draw your strength from, when death happens, you need to continue to draw strength from that, and just take it one minute at a time, actually 1 second at a time, minute, day, because grief is not linear, and it's up and down. It's like a roller coaster. One minute you are okay, the next minute you are crying, you are in deep sorrow, and that is really okay, because you are grieving. There is no manual. No one prepares for grief. We prepare for a lot of things, but not grief. And to even reach acceptance, which is the last stage of grief, it's for me it took a long time, over a year. It took a long time, and for me, accepting that what has happened, it did not mean that it's okay that my husband is not here. It meant that he's not here, and embracing the present, and really looking forward to the future for better days. It meant that God still has a purpose for me. That's why I am still here. It meant that I need to carry on and live, not just merely survive. Thank you, guys.
That was Ntombi Tsela. I hope that you were able to identify with some of the things that she mentioned, because grief takes time. It takes time. Like, you just have to be patient with yourself. We have to be patient with each other, and more than anything, I would just love to encourage each other. Like, I'd like to encourage you to support as best as we can, even through social distancing, even through this lockdown. We can always support through our online communities. We can always find ways to support, whether it's practically, any way that you feel that you can support someone close to you, do that. And if you are going through grief, please do reach out to people that you love and trust. Reach out and know that you're not alone. Know that this will pass. But healing takes time, so take the time to be good to yourself. Take the time to be good to others. You know what I mean? I hope, guys, that you were able to learn some things from this video, and my intention is just to inspire, to help people to understand their emotions better, to help people to see that they are not the only ones going through this. Like, we are all going through this at some level, and it's very, very, very painful, very, very painful. As you're hearing about another loss, and as you start to deal with that, you're hearing of another one and another one and another one. It's very, very, very painful. So I'm hoping that, guys, let's support one another as best as we can. Let's be positive as much as we possibly can. Let's listen to good music, eat nutritious food, get some vitamin D with the sunshine, be out in nature, meditate, be still, pray, do whatever you need to do, whatever helps you to find peace and solace. Do that. Do that. Whatever helps you to find peace and solace, do that. And, guys, more than anything, let's just be kind to one another. Let's spread love. Let's be love. Let's just be love. We will get through this time. We will get through this time. Cheers, guys. Keep safe. Know that I love you so, so much. And cheers.